Namaskar, Jagnaji.
Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Assuming all of you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay. So what we will do today is we will start chanting just a couple of shlokas of Gita Dhyanam. So the Bhagavad Gita begins with Gita Dhyanam, Dhyana Shloka. So we will chant a couple of those. So if I may request perhaps one of you to just unmute yourself. Swapna, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, already did.
Okay. So just all of you can repeat after me. If you have the book in front of you, that is fine. If you don't have it also, it is fine. Just repeat after me. Om Parthaya.
Om
Parthaya.
Okay, so we have to mute everybody here. So please ensure that you're all muted. We want everybody muted except Swapna. You can, if you see anybody that's not muted. Okay. Om Parthaya.
Om Parthaya.
Pratibodhitam.
Pratibodhitam.
Bhagavata.
Bhagavata.
Narayanena Swayam.
Narayanena Swayam.
Vyasena Grathitam.
Vyasena Grathitam.
Purana Munina.
Purana Munina.
Madhye Mahabharatam.
Madhye Mahabharatam.
Advaitaamritavarshinim.
Advaitamritavarshinim.
Bhagavatim.
Bhagavatim.
Ashtadashadhyayinim.
Ashtadashadhyayinim.
Ambatvam.
Ambatvam.
Anusandadhami.
Anusandadhami.
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhavadveshinim.
Bhavadveshinim.
So now we will chant the last shloka, 9th shloka of the Gita Dhyanam, Yam Brahma. Yam Brahma
Yam Brahma
Varunendra
Varunendra
Rudra Marutaha
Rudra Marutaha
Stunmanti
Stunvanti
Divyaistavaihi
Divyaistavaihi
Vedaihi
Vedaihi
Sangha Padakrama
Sangha Padakrama
Upanishadaihi
Upanishadaihi
Gayanti
Gayanti
Yam Samagaha
Yam Samagaha
Dhyanavasthita
Dhyanavastita
Tadgatena Manasa
Tadgatena Manasa
Pashyanti
Pashyanti
Yam Yoginaha
Yam Yoginaha
Yasyantam
Yasyantam
Na Viduhu
Na Viduhu
Sura Suraganaha
Surasuragana
Devaya
Devaya
Tasmai Namaha.
Tasmai Namaha.
There is a lot of noise coming from here.
Somebody is not muted, Jakumarji.
Are you able to observe the mute unmute status of people?
I can observe it, Jayakumarji. Only Swapnaji is unmuted. So
Okay, good.
Ramesh ji is unmuted also. Ramesh ji.
I'm not able to mute him actually, Ramesh ji. There's no option to mute him.
Yeah, there is no option. I don't see an option either.
Yeah.
So, okay. So him remain unmuted and Swapna also.
Okay, Jayakumarji, I'll just unmute myself. I'm not sure how much of background noise you will be able to hear. So if there is a problem, I'll mute myself.
Okay, sure. Okay, everybody else remain muted until we conclude the session.
There is.
Go ahead and mute. Go ahead and stop recording or pause recording him.
Okay.
And him, if you see anybody that's unmuted, you can please mute them. Okay. So we began discussing what are called Purusharthas. What we analyzed, what is sought after by human beings commonly, and crystallized all of that into 4 categories: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And we began seeing what moksha is. And we said, let us change the definition of moksha, or let us look at moksha as freedom from seeking. Freedom from seeking to be somebody, freedom from seeking pleasure, or freedom from seeking artha and kama. And what that means, we will have to see further. But if you look at it as the possibility that I am already free, then we are able to look at moksha that way, and it lends us to further analysis and assimilating what Bhagavan Sri Krishna will say in the Bhagavad Gita. Then we analyzed desires some more, and we were asking the question, for whose sake is desire? Because desire, our whole life, our whole day is full of desires and fulfilling desires constantly. Therefore, in fact, the Bhagavad Gita often is referred to as a text of Raga Dvesha psychology. Raga Dvesha. Raga means desire. Dvesha or Raga means like. Dvesha means dislike. So anything in this world, I have either a like or a dislike. And so I want this, I want that. I want to get rid of this, I want to get rid of that. This is how the entire life goes on. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which is in the Yajurveda, so there is this king, his name is YAjnyavalkya, and who is known to have two wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi. And so, great king, and one fine day he approaches his wives and says, I have decided to seclude myself and be with myself. Okay, that's what he says. And this is what he says. And I want to split the kingdom into two and then give it to both of you. And I want to be with myself. So Katyayani says she's a bit surprised, but I suppose she's not that surprised also. And she says, okay, I'll be happy with whatever you give. Then Maitreyi, the second wife, she asks him this question. You're going to give up all this? Yes. You mean this big kingdom you have? Yes. I mean, it's not like the people are suffering. People love you. Dharma, all over you see, people follow dharma. And even animals, they seem to say that they love you. And such a great country, great kingdom, you want to give up? She's asking that question because she might think, oh, it's impossible for me to govern this huge land. And so I give up. I give up attitude. No, that's not the thing, because she knows there is no chance. He is doing great. And all sub-kingdoms and other smaller kings are all respectful of Yajnyavalkya. So now she is asking him a question. Wait, you are the king of a kingdom which is really prosperous, and you have no problems, you have no fear, and still you want to leave all this? Then she makes an inference. She says, she asks the question, what you are going after, whatever you're saying, I'm going to seclude myself and all that, whatever you're going after must be giving you even more happiness, ananda, than what you're getting here. Correct? And he says yes. He says yes. And she also perhaps asks him, are you leaving because you are troubled by two wives? Maybe you have to make some inferences. Because one wife, two wives, one husband, two husbands. If one husband can be a problem, two husbands is twice the problem, right? So, anyway. So, all people are happy, all wives are happy, everybody happy also. So, therefore, she asks him this question. Then he says yes. He says yes to Maitreyi. And he says, yes, Maitreyi, you got it right. Array, you got it right. Then she asks him, okay, that means you know something that I don't know. And you teach me what that is. What that is you're going after. This is what she says. So then the entire Upanishad becomes, or at least a portion of the Upanishad becomes a teaching of Yajnyavalkya to his wife Maitreyi. So look at that, this teaching what comes out of this is, number one, that this teaching is a dialogue. This teaching comes only when somebody asks for it. Nobody goes around and knocks on other people's doors and says, I'm going to teach this, you please come to my class. It doesn't work like that. Although in these days it appears like we put things on Facebook and then people sign up and all that. That's how we started this class. But in general, that's because we don't have a place and we don't have other ways of advertising. So anyway, so he does that, and so he starts teaching. So there he asks Maitreyi a question. Okay, you have all these desires. He asks her, these desires, for whose sake are these desires? For example, Vittam, you love wealth, don't you? Yes, I love wealth. I love all this Aishwaryam, all this gold and all this real estate, this palace, everything I love. Okay. Then, do you love the wealth for the sake of the wealth? Do you love all this gold for the sake of gold? Then she thinks about it, and then there is some discussion we have to infer. And then YAjnyavalkya says, no, of course not. You don't love that jewelry for the sake of the jewelry. The jewelry doesn't know anything. It's inert. You love it only for your sake. So he says, Nava are vittasya kamaya. Vittam means wealth. Nava are vittasya kamaya. Vittam priyam bhavati. So he addresses Maitreyi as are. Are. A very interesting word. Are. Oh, loving one. It's an address of love. Are. Only those who are close to each other are addressed that way. So Swamiji says, array must be like in the US, they say, honey, honey. So that honey, he uses the word honey. In India and all, you can't say honey, money and all. So especially in Tamil Nadu and all, very traditional houses, homes and all, if you say honey and all, they will just, they will write you off. So Navare, vittasya kamaya vittam priyam na bhavati. The wealth does not, you don't desire wealth for the sake of the wealth. Then what do I desire it for? Whose sake? Atmanastu kamaya vittam priyam bhavati. Atmanaha. For the sake of the pleased self alone, I desire wealth. Wealth pleases me, therefore I desire wealth. So then he continues. Nava are patyuh kamaya patihi priyam bhavati. Do you like your husband? Yes, I love my husband. Do you like him, love the husband for the husband's sake? And then he says, he makes it clear. He doesn't leave any room for doubt. Nava are patyuh kamaya patih priyam bhavati. No, husband is not dear to you for the sake of the husband. Even though you seem to say, once in a while you point out, I did this for you. For your sake only I kept awake. All this you say. But really it's not for my sake. Atmanastu kamaya patihi priyam bhavati. One loves one's husband for the sake of oneself alone, not for the sake of the husband. And like this, he keeps giving a big list. Nava are jayayaha kamaya. He brings wife also. There's one love one's wife, whose sake. Atmanastu kamaya. Nava are kshatrasya kamaya. Kshatram means king. And you can include the Prime Minister. Do you love Prime Minister Narendra Modi? So yes, I love him. He is the incarnation. I love him. This is what the country needs. So do you love him for his sake or your sake? So this discussion goes on like that. He says, Atmanastu kamaya kshatram priyam bhavati. Like this, he gives a list. And then he concludes also. He concludes and says, Nava are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Sarvam in Sanskrit means all. All things. I gave you some examples, but you can input anything in this category, and Atmanastu kamaya only. For the sake of one's self alone, we love something else. Yeah, so I love my husband if I say I do it for his sake. You can't say, because the minute the husband does not make you happy, there comes a time when the two people don't seem to make each other happy, and therefore the thought of separating comes. So it is very obvious. It's very obvious that until you love me, until you make me happy, I will love you. Correct? After that, we have to look at other alternatives. So it's very obvious that I am the one who is the center here. I am the one to whom the commitment is. So no, Jaykumarji, that's not true. I've done so much for my children. And how many years? And now he's going to college. And college is not cheap anymore, very expensive. And 1 year, first year I paid, second year I paid, fourth year, I'm just waiting for him to get a job. And he doesn't even appreciate what I do. So then we will ask the question, why are you helping your child go to college? No, that's because I want him to get a good education. Why do you want your child to get a good education? No, otherwise he will not get a good job. Why do you want your son to get a good job? Otherwise, he can't make a good living. Why do you want him to make a good living? Well, otherwise he will suffer in life. So what if he suffers? No, I don't want him to suffer. What happens if he suffers? Then I will also suffer. I will also suffer. We all will suffer together. So I will suffer if my son doesn't go to college. Therefore, I want him to go to college, even if it means I have to spend a lot of money. So very interesting. This kind of analysis is important to know, because once the revelation occurs that it is for my own sake that I am doing whatever I am doing, then we don't make silly statements like this. I did so much for you. What have you done for me? So that statement is a very hurtful statement. It can break relationships. And so we are very clear that that statement has no basis, because whatever I do for my own sake. So this is very clear there. And so this is important. Understanding desires, understanding our actions. Desires drive actions, and actions give us results, and those results make us happy or sad. So we have to understand the role of this desire and for whose sake it is. So going back to moksha, when it is seen that for my sake only I am doing things, then I can begin to see that I don't seek anything for the sake of that particular item, thing. And so we said, what I'm seeking is freedom from insecurity. I seem to become secure when I possess something. And when I lose that something, I seem to become insecure. It is paramount. The ShAstram is saying that what I am probably seeking is freedom from insecurity. That much is clear. I'm seeking freedom from insecurity. And taking one more step further, I must see myself as secure. I must see myself as secure. Otherwise, there is no hope of ever becoming secure. This must be clear to us. And seeing myself as secure is not some kind of hypnotism. I keep on chanting, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm Ananda, I'm Ananda, I'm Ananda, I'm Purnaha, I'm Purnaha, I'm Purnaha. Because there are statements like that. That is not what is being talked about, hypnotism. We are talking about understanding a fact. And that is where teaching becomes very relevant. So then the journey now is going to be from becoming to being. From becoming. What is becoming? So I always want to become. So I want this, I want that. So I want a job, I want a promotion, I want the next job, like this. So I told somebody, I worked in a chemical company for 20 years. And this guy just, he's probably from the IT industry where people change jobs quite often. And so he said, what, same company for 20 years? Yeah, same company. So those days, that's how it was. And even in our industries, in the industries, non-IT industries, it can be like that. So I want a next job. Sometimes people say, so I want to become somebody who has a job. So I'm changing the language slightly. Look at this. I am who I am, but I want to become somebody who has a job. Then I want to become somebody who has a promotion. Then I want to become somebody who is a manager in the company. Then I want to become somebody who has a job in this other company, which is a better company. Then I want to go abroad. Then I want to be somebody who has a green card. Then I want to become somebody who has a house. Then I want to become somebody who has a family. All this. Just change the language. I want to become. So I'm basically becoming somebody else. So this becoming is important here. And this word in Sanskrit that is used is called bhava. Bhavami. Bhava. That is why in Sanskrit, some songs and all you will see. Bhavasagar. They will say Bhavasagar. Bhavasagar. Main Bhavasagar mein hu. Means I am in this ocean of becoming. Becoming. Constantly wanting to become. And what happens? I am now 70, 80 years old. Then what? Then also I want to become. What? No, I'm not. I don't want another house and this and that. I want to become somebody who has grandchildren. And I want to become somebody whose grandchildren are happily married. So this becoming constantly continues. And if that doesn't happen, what happens? Then I become sad. So this is why this becoming is what is the word that is used in our ShAstram. If we study Bhagavad Gita, etc., that word will become meaningful. Bhava. Just one word they use, that's all. And it means samsara. 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 Samsara, same thing. Samyak sarati. The person keeps on going. Like this rat goes in this circle, in this wheel, this, not a giant wheel, but a small wheel. We see that sometimes. The rat keeps climbing and the wheel also keeps on going down. It never goes up. So samsara. Samsara. There is a perfume called samsar. I don't know how many of you have seen it. Samsar perfume. So that's another bhavasagar, another samsara. So moksha, therefore, that is freedom from insecurity, if we call it moksha. That moksha is perhaps the end of all ends. Means that is what drives me to do whatever I am doing. So even though I am saying there are 4 purusharthas, Shastra says dharmartha kama, but that moksha is what seems to. Behind all these purusharthas, the moksha is hiding behind. And so we have to say 4 purusharthas because moksha is not recognized as an end, as a goal. Not recognized. When I begin to learn and when I begin to understand, when I begin to analyze life, then moksha begins to become more and more meaningful to me. So understand here moksha, we are not talking about moksha as a travel to a particular place that we are giving up. That if travel may be there very much, but that travel also is finite. It is in time, and in time, anything in time will always be changing. Anything in time will end. If you come and say, I went to heaven and I just returned, then we will ask, why did you return from heaven if heaven was good? No, I think my time's up. They said visa exhausted and you have to leave the country. Leave heaven. So heaven also you have to, some visa is required. And some time limit is there. That's what the ShAstram says very clearly. Therefore, anything we do in life, any goal we have, anything about family or children, education, etc., marriage, all that we cannot assume them to be an absolute end. They're all means. They're all means to achieve something else bigger. And if I see everything as a means, then my life is already somewhat fulfilled to some extent. I can relax because I need not be caught up in something. So this didn't happen. Yeah, it may create some sadness, but I don't need to be caught up because that thing is not an end in itself. So they say that. It's very clear. You lose money, nothing is lost. And then you lose something they say. You lose character, everything is lost. Something like that they say. So therefore, even there we see there is relatively that idea is being given. And so this fundamental problem has to be properly understood. So somebody asked in that satsang, how come we have not started the Bhagavad Gita yet? Some few verses we must have covered. Today is the 4th class or 5th class. So all these basics have to be covered. Then the Bhagavad Gita just flows very smoothly. And so that fundamental problem, when it is understood, life becomes fulfilling. If it is not understood, the ShAstram uses a word for that. Life is wasted. And yaha atmanam viditva asman lokat preti comes in a Upanishad. Atmanam viditva, one who leaves this world means one who passes away. After understanding Atmanam viditva, then saha brahmanaha. ShAstram uses the word he or she is a brahmana. Look at the word brahmana, where it is used. So the real meaning of the word brahmana, we understand a brahmana in our life as somebody who's committed to the Vedas, who is studying, teaching, who is officiating rituals, etc. So that person is also a brahmana, no doubt. Karmataha brahmana. But the ShAstram lets go of that definition and gives another definition. One who knows Brahma is Brahmana. One who knows Brahma, Brahman, that person only can be called a Brahmana. So by that definition, all of us will become Abrahmanas. So that is what The Shastram says, for the person who knows Atma, who knows Brahma. What about the person who doesn't know? Yaha Atmanam aviditva asman lokat preti. Asman lokat preti means leaves this world, departs this world, having not understood Atmanam aviditva. Saha kripanaha. Saha kripanaha. Kripanaha, miser. That person is a miser. What is this word miser? Miser because one who has a lot but is unable to part with any of it is called a miser. That we know. Kanjan, Karimi. So in India also there are words for it. And so here also we saw earlier Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunancha Samanam Yeta Pashubis Samanaha and Buddhirhi Tesham. That buddhi is there. That is what distinguishes this human animal from every other animal. And so this person is endowed with a wealth called buddhi. And if I don't use that buddhi, which is wealth, then who am I? Shastram says, you are a kripanaha. You are a miser. I am a miser. That's what he says. So, very important there to appreciate that particular wealth we are all endowed with, you can call it intellect. You can call the ability to analyze through things. So where have we come now? I am seeking artha, security. Then I find that this security is fleeting. Fleeting means coming and going. I seem to be secure sometimes. Then I become insecure. Then I realize that this artha, any artha in this world cannot make me secure. So I am a little more enlightened now. And then I listen to the Shastram. Shastram says you are already secure. Nothing in the world can make you secure. You are the source of security. I hear all these statements and then I begin to wonder. Then the Shastram says it is a fact to be understood. That means I am ignorant of that fact. That means I say the fundamental problem is one of ignorance. One of ignorance. All along I think I must be there to be happy. I must do this to accomplish something. I must be there. I must go there. And then religions come and say you must go to heaven. And then, okay, that sounds attractive. Then Shastram comes finally and says, no place is going to be eternal, permanent. Going means coming will be there. And any place in time will also, kshaya, will also disappear. And so this Svarga also is temporary. Maybe long, but temporary. And so this particular idea that the Shastram gives, that you're already secure, begins to make more and more sense. So that has been our journey so far. So therefore, understanding moksha as an end in itself, and nothing else is really an end. Nothing, end means what? A goal. Everything else is perhaps a means towards moksha. Perhaps a means. We have to see what kind of means that is. And moksha is the end. So this is our understanding now. So if ignorance is recognized as a problem, what can be the solution for ignorance? We have to see. I don't know algebra. The child doesn't know algebra. Child goes to school, A, B, C, D, it is writing and all that. One fine day, the teacher is teaching the child 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But the child doesn't know anything beyond that. Addition, it has not even heard the word. So the child is ignorant of the topic of addition. Then one fine day, the child is taught. The child is taught because the only solution to ignorance is knowledge, gaining knowledge. And by going to school, etc., through a teacher, the child begins to learn that topic. And the child keeps on learning for year after year after year. There is so much to know. So everything that is being done in school is imparting of knowledge. See what a challenge it is. And the teachers especially will appreciate this very much. And to make a child learn a particular subject, of course, all parents also have gone through this. Why teacher? You don't have to be a teacher. And trying to make our own children understand something can be a very frustrating experience. So, but because there is no choice, you can't make your child simply chant 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Keep on saying, my beta, keep on saying it. Then you will understand it. No parent says that. No, not acceptable. You can say, you can chant your multiplication tables fine, but first you must understand multiplication. Only then you chant. Until then there is no chanting. So, here also same thing. When ignorance is the problem, the solution is jnanam, knowledge. So that's why ShAstram says jnanena moksha. By knowledge, moksha. So when we talk about knowledge, then we have to talk about how is knowledge gained. How can knowledge be gained? Look at how the analysis goes. And the West has developed a subject called epistemology. Epistemology, very big word. But it's all what our rishis used to discuss. Knowledge, jnanam. What is the nature of knowledge? How is knowledge gained? Is gained knowledge permanent or not? All these questions they have asked. And so we get into the topic of what is called pramANam. pramANam. Perception and inference. These are the two main means of knowing anything. Perception. Perception means using the 5 sense organs, operating the sense organs we have, which are 5 in number. Then exposing those sense organs to the objects, various objects. We are able to say, I see you. We are able to run our life because our sense organs are operating. Eyesight is operating, we see things. Ear is operating, we are able to hear things. And this is called pratyaksham in Sanskrit, pratyaksham. In English, it is perception. Perceptual data comes and then the mind processes it and then we are able to appreciate what is being seen, what is being heard, what is being tasted, etc. And there is also a memory of what is seen. Oh, when did you come to Coimbatore? Means what? I see a person and then I recognized him because I know who the person is from past memory. And therefore, I am able to say, come, great surprise. What is this? So, perception, memory, and all that I use. And then I keep gaining knowledge of things in this world. Then there is something called inference. Very important. Perception and inference. These are the main things. Inference. So, you wake up one day and you see the time is 8 o'clock. My goodness, it's late. I was supposed to get up at 6:30 or 7. And then you hear there is no noise anywhere, no sound, nothing. And you realize that your husband has left for office. He didn't feel like disturbing you and then he left. Just inference. You haven't seen anybody. You're just not heard anything and you're making an inference. Very important knowledge. Very important means of knowledge, inference. And we use it every day of our life. Every minute of our life we use pratyaksham and anumanam. This is called anumanam in Sanskrit. So driving, the other day I gave you an example of driving on the street and then you come stop in front of a street light, the signals, traffic light, and then it's red, you stop, and then it's green, you take off. And big inference is being made. Actually, we don't realize we are making an inference that all these other people on the left and right of the the perpendicular road, they've all seen the red light. There is a red light, number one. They have seen the red light, and then they are going to stop after seeing the red light. All of those taken for granted. We saw that. Very important inference. We use inference all the time. And the entire this diagnosis, medical diagnosis. And you go to the clinic or the hospital, and they immediately, we don't know whether the doctor prescribes these tests after seeing you or before seeing you. Like that, we begin to get a doubt these days, based on the number of tests they give you. We begin to get a doubt. Hey, what is all this you're giving me? No, you please do this test and see the doctor. But the doctor hasn't seen me yet. How do you know I need all these tests? No, we know better. We are all advanced. We know. I can look at you and tell you what you need. Anyway, so that entire lab test, whether it is a glucose test or the lipid profile and all these profiles they do, it is all data. They are gathering data from our blood, and then it is being presented. Now the doctor looks at you, talks to you, and then the data he uses as a backup, as some additional validation of what he or she has in mind. The doctor also thinks, okay, maybe there is some cholesterol issues. Okay, maybe cholesterol. We need to get this checked out. And the data very much says so. And then the doctor makes some advice based on that. So there, nobody has seen cholesterol in the body. Nobody has seen glucose. Glucose is not oozing out of the body. And so there's no pratyaksham there. There is no perception there. We have to use anumanam only. Sugar in the blood is measured, and everything. So this whole process of diagnosis, it's all based on data and inference. Data, inference, data, inference. Very important in medical field. This inference is very big, and also a series of inferences made. This test, then we will do this test, then we will do this test. Therefore, this is confirmed or this is not confirmed. So, inference, very important. We make inferences all the time. All the time. All the time. Cooker, you make rice at home, and the cooker makes this whistle. And then one whistle, some people say 2 whistles, some people say 3 whistles. 3 whistles are done, you turn off the gas. Inference is made, the rice must be cooked. Inference only. How do you know rice is cooked? No, rice must be cooked, I know. Because I do it, I've been doing it for the last 50 years. So I know it. So inference, no pratyaksham, no sight of cooked rice, inference. So these are the two main means of knowledge. We are now introducing a phrase called means of knowledge. Please make a note. And in Sanskrit, it is called pramANam. It's called pramANam. pramANam means means of knowledge. Very big topic in our ShAstram. Because when jnanam is involved, pramANam has to be brought in. So now we have to ask the question. Hey, you said this Atma has to be known. YAjnyavalkya tells Maitreyi, Atma va are shrotavyaha mantavyaha nidityasitavyaha. Jnatavyaha, he says. Jnatavyaha means must be known, must be understood. And he says, how do I know? Well, shrotavyaha. First, it must be heard about. You have to hear about it before knowing. So, shrotavyaha. That is why Shravanam is a very big thing in our ShAstram. Shravanam, listening. Listening to somebody talk about it. So that knowing, jnatavyaha, must be understood. Therefore, the means of knowledge comes. And so the question will be asked, can this self, can this Atma be known by the only two means of knowledge I have in my hands, which is perception and inference? I'll repeat that again. Can this Atma be known? Like I know so many things in this world, I begin to understand. I don't know how to operate this cell phone. My daughter teaches me how to use this cell phone, because these days you have to always talk to the younger people when it comes to technology, and I begin to learn how to use it. Can I know like that? Can I know Atma like that? Using perception and inference. This is the question to be asked. Then we say, suppose we say, you have seen so many things in this world. Have you seen your eyes? What? Have you seen your eyes? You know, you have two eyes here like this. Have you seen your eyes? You've seen a lot of things. You've gone to so many different places, and the list is endless. Have you seen your eyes or not? No, that's a very good question. I can't see my eyes directly. The eyes cannot see themselves. The eyes cannot see themselves. That's a revelation that we are all clear about. So how do you see? But have you seen your eyes or not? Yes, I've seen the eyes. And I use something called a mirror. Every morning, the first thing I do is look at myself. I don't know why we have to look at myself in the mirror. I've been asking myself this question. What, is there a doubt that you don't exist or what? You have to look at the mirror and say, touch the mirror and then, am I alive or not? Is this what we have to see or what? I don't know. I think we get some happiness by looking at ourselves. And somebody can argue, wait a minute, you're looking at the same face every day for so many years. You must be tired. No, I'm not tired looking at myself. I love to look at myself. So that love is there. Self-love is always there. Whatever love, hate I have, the self I always love. So here, so this mirror is the external means of knowledge to see my own eyes. As far as Atma is concerned also, a similar problem is there. I have made so many conclusions about myself. So I am this, I am that, I am an idiot, I am no good, I am sad, I am happy, and I am a target. Too many people are not helping me. This, that. I have so many things I have concluded about myself, and I am innocent, I am smart. This, that. So many things are there. And now, if we understand, if we are part of the Indian culture, then we also used to bring in stars also. So all these Navagrahas are there, and they are also targeting me. And so I need to be a little careful. Maybe I need to go to the temple and do something to these Navagrahas. And this Sapta, what is called? Sade Sati is also there, Shani. Where or not to Shani, they say. And so I am now a victim of so many things. And on top of that, planets are also victimizing me. I don't know what I did to Mercury. Why should Mercury victimize me? Mercury was there long before me. What did I do to Mercury? Or Saturn? Saturn is, you just stick there. You be there in your own large, not large, little. Then be large and little at the same time. This large
orbit.
Orbit, yeah. Orbit, yeah. So just be there. Why are you bothering us? So he seems to bother us also. So like this, I have made so many conclusions about myself. And now the ShAstram is saying, you are not any of those things you have concluded. Oh, but I am an engineer. Am I not an engineer? Yeah, you're playing the role of an engineer, no doubt. But Atma is not an engineer. Atma can't be an engineer. And so that's how the discussion goes here. And so then, therefore, we now say, we accept for the time being the fact that I am ignorant about my true nature. Everything I have said is a superimposition on myself. I am subject to death is a superimposition on myself. My body will die. I can accept that because I see that everywhere. But am I the body or not is a problem. I don't know. I have taken myself to be as good as this body. Is that right or wrong? That doubt is now created by the Shastram. Hey, you will have to look into this and say, this body is also an object of your knowledge. Anything that's an object of your knowledge is not you. You are the subject, my dear, not the object. And like that, the Shastram says, and so I can accept that ignorance of the nature of myself is the cause of whatever word you want to use, samsara, is the cause of suffering, anything you want to use, it's cause of dissatisfaction. So I have superimposed something, some quality on myself that I don't have. Like the rope snake. The Shastram gives the example of a rope snake. Rope snake means what? It is evening at 6:30, it is getting dark, I open the door, I look out and I see a snake. And then I jump at it. I'm shocked. And then somebody tells me, no, it's not a snake. It is actually the water hose. The water hose that you use to water your garden. And you purchase a water hose that is brown in color. And so it looks like a brown snake to you. So there I have superimposed a snake on the rope. And when I superimpose something, that superimposed something can be pleasurable or it can cause fear in me, like the snake causes fear in me. So only the knowledge of the rope can eliminate the fear from me, the fear of snake. If you ask, how can the fear of snake go in this case? In this case, the fear of snake can only go when I gain the knowledge of the reality of the snake. And when I am told the reality of the snake is really a fire hose or a rope, then the fear goes away completely. There can't be any more fear. So then there is some discussion about, whether I can stumble upon knowledge like this. Stumble upon knowledge. Because the Shastram says you must take the initiative to know this. This knowledge will not just happen like that. So that is why they say, the serendipity and things like that. Serendipity means stumbling upon something. I happened to stumble upon it without my even asking for it. Will that be possible? So there, it's not possible. It doesn't work like that. Accidentally, you can't discover it. You must begin to appreciate and keep asking for it. Then only this knowledge can take place. And somebody else says, no, I've heard that. I've heard that if I remove all the thoughts from my head, if I make my head thoughtless, for which there are so many techniques, then I will get moksha. Then Swamiji elaborates a lot on this. He makes fun on this also. He says a thinking, thoughtful head also is not able to understand. How can a thoughtless head understand? At least the thinking head knows, I don't know. There is something to know and will make an effort to know. But thoughtless head, there can be problems. And there is a place for everything. And dhyanam, there is a particular technique, method, etc. And the dhyanam also has a place and it is very useful, very important. But this idea of thoughtlessness is not something that is encouraged in the Shastram. So then, why can't I use perception to gain this knowledge? you know, if we say, then we are very clear. Every means of knowledge, every sense organ, let's say, every sense organ, like eyes. Eyes are meant for seeing. And now I have had cataract operations and I am now 85 years old and my eyes are not seeing properly. Vision is impaired. So now why don't I use my ears to see things? My ears are working fine. So I should be able to see things with my ears because I have 5 sense organs, and why not back up one sense organ by other sense organs? It won't work because each sense organ is meant for a very specific purpose. Eyes can only reveal to me forms and colors. It cannot reveal anything else. It cannot reveal anything else. That's why when somebody brings a bunch of roses to you, you will thank that person, no doubt. But then you don't know if these roses are real or not. Because these days there is an imitation for everything. There are very good imitations for everything. So you have to touch it. You have to first smell it. Is it smelling like a rose, real rose? Then it seems to smell. Then you might say, these days they have rose smell also. So some rose water could have been poured on this, who knows? Then you have a doubt. Then you say, let me touch it and see. Then only it tells you, oh, this is not real rose. Because you have the experience of real rose. So this idea is that every means of knowledge is very specific to what it can reveal. And so 5 sense organs are there. They all have specific purposes. Inference also operates in a particular way. When the right data is there, when I see smoke out there on the mountain in Coimbatore, when you look around, especially in some places, you can see mountains. And Nilgiris is very much there. And I see smoke, on a clear day I see smoke. That means now I make an inference. I make an inference that there must be fire on the mountain. Because I know there is a law that without fire, there cannot be smoke. That is a law I know. I'm very clear about that. I use that law here and convert this data, smoke data, into fire. There must be fire. And then after 15 minutes, I see there is even more smoke. And then after half an hour, after 1 hour, I come back after breakfast and see the fire has spread. So last year I saw that there was a big fire on the mountain and it had just gone from the left to the right, just like that. So use inference initially, and then later on it gets validated. If you are actually able to see fire, then it becomes pratyaksham. So then what about other things? What about bhakti? What about prarthana? What about puja? All these things. All that Krishna will talk about. And everything has a role. Bhakti is important, has a role. And bhakti is what perhaps brought us here. Perhaps some punya we have gained. And perhaps there is a state of mind we gained, which made us seek this knowledge. So everything has a role, everything has a place. And then to appreciate this fact that a means of knowledge is needed for knowing the Atma, having understood that ignorance is a fundamental problem. So next class we will see what is that means of knowledge. What is that pramANam, which is different from pratyaksham and anumanam. And there we will say the Vedas is that means of knowledge. Like the mirror enabled me to see my eyes, the Vedas are nothing but a mirror that enables me to see exactly who I am. This we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.